So hi guys and welcome back to another video here. Well, it's not really an experiment video. This is more like a challenge video in which we are trying to get Lewis Hamilton into the P1 and get him the championship, his 8th championship overall and his first for the Ferrari team. And that's why we are starting to do, and look at that, I am putting all the drivers on car development right now, and after that obviously car development you can only use 3 drivers. So after that we are going to put all these drivers onto marketability. Obviously it's because guys, marketability will help us get money. Obviously Ferrari marketability isn't really that needed, but guys, because it's a mod, obviously the F1 2025 season DLC kind of, which is essentially a mod which we have, which I have a chance to play, which is amazing guys, because I do not understand how these guys made it such an amazing work. And because of this, you start a year earlier or at the end of 2024, so that's why we had more time to use the marketability to get the money. And here we are designing an underfloor using everything. We have minimum lifespan onto the grid, and let's see other side pods. Let's do that. And obviously guys, my main goal with this is to get as best of a cornering as we can. The main goal right now is cornering, not the top speed acceleration, not the tire preservation or engine cooling. That's why I am using everything. Obviously rear wing, you need the top speed, so use that. Obviously not using everything in the minimum lifespan because we can go till the 0. I mean, well, you can, and we can obviously go at the leftmost side of the slider for the minimum weight. It will work out. And rear wing is also done. And guys, we have done all the 4 upgrades, and look at that, 102 million. Might have helped a little bit there because of the marketability. We put these guys on side pods. Manufacturing guys, obviously first one we have already the design. Obviously guys, I am going to show you a little bit more in this video. Otherwise, more or less every time I do these kinds of experiment, it's mostly not really helpful because I only show you the result, not the process of doing it. And obviously front wing, we had it, we gave it to Lewis Hamilton. And suspension, we only have one, which we have given it to Lewis Hamilton because guys, obviously we need him to be at his best. And into the Australian GP, Max Verstappen won it with Lewis Hamilton into P2 and Charles Leclerc into P7. Obviously the McLaren's only in P3, P4, but they were in the DRS, so they were really close. But Lewis Hamilton obviously got P2, but Max Verstappen, showing his magic, gets himself into P1. And obviously guys, using everything, and look at that, I am still not maximizing the durability. Obviously I am just trying to save it a little bit because I honestly was a little bit scared, but I forgot that Ferrari, well, they are a bank with the money, and we obviously do not have to use everything. And look at that, the design for suspension also done. And into the Chinese sprint, we only get P4 with 7.4 seconds behind the top 3. But into the main race, Piastri obviously won it, but Lewis Hamilton gets himself into P2, which was important guys, because we need to keep up with these guys, keep up with the McLarens and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. Only then we can win and have a chance a little bit later, because right now the Ferrari car is not that good. That's why we are keep on upgrading as much as we can. Look at that, side pods still not giving us that much performance, but it's giving us engine cooling now. And into the Japanese GP, look at that guys, how much big of a gap the P1 and P2 had to us. Lewis Hamilton gets P3, but Lando Norris and Piastri gets himself P1 and P2, which is crazy guys, because that was difficult for us. And into the Bahrain GP, obviously guys, I was leading the race with Lewis Hamilton. We were on a good chance of winning, but I messed up and, well, messed up the fuel there, 0.2 kgs into negative, and that cost us the win, the first win for Ferrari, for Lewis Hamilton. That was hurtful, and because of that, we are now into P4, around 31 points behind Oscar Piastri. But guys, it's just the start of the season. Still lot of races to go. We can do it. And into the Saudi Arabia GP, and guys, we had a safety car under which everyone pit, but I thought let's not pit, and this is the result what we had, because Lando Norris won it, but Charles Leclerc gets himself into P6 and Hamilton only P8, and this is the result, guys, of messing the pit stops, obviously not pitting under the safety car. Big mistake for us, but guys, it has happened. And into the Spanish GP, Hamilton gets himself into P3, but Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris P1, P2. Craziness for these guys. Obviously, guys, we had two more races in between. Imola, Hamilton crashed out very epically with Lando Norris, but he still continued and get some points. And obviously, into the Monaco GP, Lewis Hamilton got a podium, but the problem was, guys, well, my recording software had bogged down there, and it was just whole screen was black, and it annoyed me. Couldn't do anything there, guys. So we move on from that, and obviously underflow, we have already designed a new one for that, and let's see. We are going to get a lot of performance here. At least the 38 turns will get better, and look at that, guys. This is good. We will gain 2%, 2.5% in the DRS effectiveness. So that is the right call. And let's see, chassis will also give us 2%. Yeah, look at that, guys. The high speed and medium speed we are going to get. And it is the car 2 performance. And we have done it. And into the Canadian GP, guys, only 8 seconds behind Lando Norris. Piastri into P5, and guys, Hamilton did amazing, gets himself into P2. And guys, I think these are the results which we need to maximize on, because obviously we can do it and we will try to do it. So with a new ATR period, everything I am using goes onto the side pods, and look at that, still negative, but as soon as I go minimum on the durability, we get some performance out of these side pods. And let's just go into the Austrian GP, guys. Only a race, no sprint, and into lap 70, Hamilton has overtaken Piastri for the win here. Can he keep up for 1.5 lap, and last lap starting, and Piastri is not catching up? Hell, Hamilton is breaking away from Piastri, and into turn 9, turn 10, Hamilton is going to win his first race for Ferrari, and that is the way we want to start. Obviously, Charles Leclerc was just a little bit behind to get himself into P6, but a little bit hurt, but doesn't matter. And into the British GP, guys, Lewis Hamilton gets himself P2 again, 11 seconds behind Lando Norris, but we are level on point with Max Verstappen. So let's first of all overtake Max Verstappen, then we are going to worry about it. But into the Spa GP, it didn't really work out for us, but into Hungarian GP, guys, Hamilton did not wait for it, and he was able to win the Hungary GP with Charles Leclerc into P6. And if you can see, Hülkenberg in the Sauber was P7. I don't know how he did it, but that was amazing. And obviously, guys, let's see the results. And Lewis Hamilton gets P1, George Russell P2, and because of this, Lewis Hamilton has overtaken Max Verstappen for P3, and now the goal is Lando Norris, who is 34 points in front. Can we catch up to him? Let's just go. But first of all, we need to design more things, guys, because obviously summer break is here, so we can get some more performance in this car. So we are using underfloor again, using 3 engineers too. And into the Zandvoort GP, guys, obviously Lando Norris and Piastri did 3 stops. We were only 2 stopping, and because of that, they are now catching up to us with 6 seconds a gap to Hamilton from Lando Norris with 10 laps to go. Can they do it? Obviously, we are using our tires, and Charles Leclerc again has ran by twice, so we had to pit him. That's why he was a little down the order at the last lap. And look at that, guys, into the final sector, and we are just a second. We are just a second in front of Piastri. And look at that, guys, if it was Lando Norris in front of Piastri, we might lose this, but here to the racing line, Hamilton has won the Zandvoort GP from Piastri and Lando Norris, which is amazing, guys. Obviously, it helped us get another win, and into the Monza GP, guys. We had such an amazing race. We were easily winning, but into the second DRS, Piastri was able to overtake Hamilton, and he was able to win. Obviously, both the drivers had the same rear wing, so they had a really amazing pace. But I messed up, guys, there and could not do anything. And Oscar Piastri now overtakes Lando Norris. But look at that, guys. Lewis Hamilton is only 20 points behind Oscar Piastri, who is leading the championship. So we can do it. Obviously, we paid $1 million, guys, for the design center. Obviously, because of that, we went into negative, and many other things. Weren't able to use the design effectiveness we wanted. But here with the new CFD, new ATR period, we are using everything. And look at that, we are going to gain a lot of high and medium speed from this chassis upgrade. So we are going to do that. Let's see what more. I think underflow is always good, and dirtier tolerance will be gained by 3%. But as soon as you go on to car 2, this is the real performance, which isn't bad, because guys, the top speed is also gets a little bit better, which is really needed for us. So let's do that, and let's just go into the Azerbaijan GP with 6 tenths to Piastri. Piastri trying to catch us. Can he do anything? And DRS open for him, but we have made it. Hamilton has made it, and he has won the Azerbaijan GP again, doing good. And Charles Leclerc obviously just a little bit behind Lando Norris to get on podium. That was annoying. But into the Singapore GP, guys, he has the DRS, Piastri has the DRS, but we have taken a chapter out of our own book, and we have put always defend for Lewis Hamilton, because Piastri, obviously, as I told you, has the DRS, and he gets the DRS on now. And look at that, how much he is closing up, and through the inside he goes for it, but Lewis Hamilton defends, and because of that he has maintained his lead. And now through the racing line, Hamilton is going to win the Singapore GP. And guys, this is something we want, because this is helping us catch up to these guys. Obviously, we have overtaken Lando Norris for P2, which is actually important for us. Let's see, can we overtake more of these guys? And obviously, guys, constructor McLaren has such a commanding lead on us. That's why we can't really do anything. But into the sprint of USGP with 3.7 seconds, Lewis Hamilton has won it easily. And obviously it wasn't really that difficult. But into the main race, guys, Lewis Hamilton was fighting with Max Verstappen, his old rival. Obviously he was able to overtake Lewis Hamilton was able to overtake Max Verstappen easily, unlike in real life. And because of that, we, with Lewis Hamilton, even though Max Verstappen was putting all the pressures on him, were able to win the USGP. And that was good, guys, with Charles Leclerc into P4, but he was 23 seconds behind, which is quite concerning, even though we have put Charles Leclerc on a newer spec of parts. Can't really do anything. But because of this, guys, Lewis Hamilton has taken the driver standings, and he has gone to P1. And can he win the championship? We will see. But into the Mexico GP, Lando Norris crossed some points back on Hamilton with P1, but Hamilton does not mess his race, gets himself into P2. And into the sprint race of the Brazil GP, we get a 1-2 for the Ferrari. Obviously everyone else fit into the safety car, we did not, and that was the right choice. And into the main race, though, Lando Norris and Piastri gets themselves P1 and P2, and Hamilton out of the podium with P4, and Charles Leclerc into P5. Guys, a little bit hurt, but I guess, guys, look at that, we still have the cushion for Lewis Hamilton to do something here. And let's see what more we can do for the next race. But before that, guys, let's go and design some more upgrade here, because obviously underflow, this is the only ATR period we have left with. So using every CFD and internal time here, and look at that, we are still negative. But as soon as you decrease the weight, you get some positive. So we cannot do it, so we will use all our engineers and let's do the rushed 2 because that will help us. And normal obviously 20 days isn't really working, so let's do rush. We will have to pay 1.5 million, but that means it will get us into 14 days and into the final lap in Las Vegas GP, guys. Lewis Hamilton overtakes Oscar Piastri, but I think, guys, that was a little bit too early. We need to do something now because onto the back straight, onto the DRS straight, which is the next one coming, we will be a sitting duck for Lewis Hamilton. That's why I have already put him on defending as much as he can. Let's see, can he do it? And obviously Oscar Piastri will get the DRS. He now has the DRS and look at the closing speed he has. And Lewis Hamilton is not defending. Lewis Hamilton is not defending, but looks like it's not going to be needed because Piastri just backs out a little bit because I think he knew it will be really difficult for him to get himself into front or to widen that chicane, but through the lap, and Hamilton has won the Las Vegas GP. And Charles Leclerc did not even finish in top 10 because I messed up his fuel. And obviously, guys, the McLarens won their championship by 150 points almost. So they were just amazing, both the drivers. And into the Qatar GP, guys, we were able to win with Hamilton by 6 seconds. He was just flying in Qatar, guys. I don't know how Lewis Hamilton was just flying. And it wasn't even like Charles Leclerc had old spec. He had, I think, 1 or 2 upgrades. He has all the same upgrades with Lewis Hamilton. But Lewis Hamilton was just so far in front. And he had such an amazing gel with this GP. He was able to make a bigger gap to all the people behind him, and he has cemented his lead into P1 and into the last corner for the final race of the season. And Lewis Hamilton crosses the line and he has become a 8 world time champion with Ferrari. First championship for him with Ferrari, obviously a dream for him. Always wanted to drive for Ferrari, but this time he has realized his dream.
What a well-deserved win that was.
Oh, that's a wonderful scene. The team getting their first chance to congratulate their driver on a job well done. And Lewis Hamilton takes to the podium once more, adding yet another trophy to his legacy.
That's their 9th win of the season. I expect them to be showered with plaudits and more.
And with that, the drivers finally get the chance to cool off and enjoy themselves.
And obviously into the results, look at that. Max Verstappen gets himself into P4 after qualifying only P14. That was crazy. And obviously, guys, Lewis Hamilton was able to do it. And obviously Charles Leclerc was such a good driver, guys. I had to nerf him a little bit. That's why it was, well, sometimes he was such far off the pace. But guys, I'm not really angry about it or anything because I know people will say things. But guys, it was amazing. And if you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys for the next one.